Hey, I'm Sensei Matt Federico. My student Stefan Mike says that the Brotherhood is doing a technique of the week 5 sword, so I said, you know, why not? Let's do it. And I'd love to contribute, and I'd love to hear your feedback. So let's go into 5 swords. So I'm going to break it down a few different ways. The first thing I want to break down is just obviously the idea that we're doing like a Chinese sword motion, then adding on from that. So the first thing is stepping in, getting your block, and making sure it's behind the elbow. Make sure that you're not blocking here and you're getting that clip. So the first thing is getting that first block. Now I know some people, when they do it, they aim for 2 hands. So I'll break this down in 2 different ways. So you could go 1, 2, and just get that first part. And when you're doing it, you're gonna hit it to slow it down to block it. Don't commit too much because you wanna make sure that you kind of get that circle motion back. So when you're hitting, you get that 1 and then that slide motion into them. And you're gonna get a lot of power in this chop just from the torque in your hand. And at the same time, your weight moving forward. Boom, that's gonna be 1. Now the next thing you're gonna really focus on is this hand following through and following into Stefan Mike's face. So boom, here. Now I know some people do 2. I'm just gonna show you a variation as where it could run into a problem, and then I'm gonna show you how you can kind of fix it. So if I do 2 hands and he collapses this, I've lost both my hands, which sometimes it works. So I don't want you to ever think, all right, you can't ever go, bop, use 2 hands and then kind of work from there. But I'd like to show how you can make this a positive. So if he throws a punch and I do this block, and now he pulls it in, that's gonna set me up for the rest of the technique, right? For actually the rest of my strikes. So the whole idea of this is when I do this motion, it's sending this next hand, right? Which I love, because this strike not only strikes him, but it stops that other hand. Now you could, if you want to get really fancy and say, oh, if he throws the other hand, I can block and then set up my strike. I really like hitting people. I don't really like using my strikes as much to stop that hand. I want to stop him so he doesn't even think about using that hand. So that's really what you want to think, is that 1, 2, bend your knees, drop your weight, boom. All right, now the next part we have is this punch. And then after that, we got to watch this head coming down. So that's really what's focusing about this rebound here, is when I get here, I really want to worry, not too much, but about getting headbutt. Boom, I don't want this head coming down. So when I come to this point, I'm going to rebound. Boom, and this is going to check this down. So we're here, 1, 2, 3. I throw this, and now what's another way I can make sure I don't get headbutt? Move out the way. All right, and give him another spot for this head to go. So we got the beginning of that, which is here. Boom, now I got this movement. You okay? Okay, now I got this movement. This is coming down with the head. This hand's coming back chamber. Now if you want, instead of chambering it, you can even have this here to kind of open him up. All right, use this as a check on the bottom. Boom, but now I gotta be careful it doesn't come on top of me. Here, now we got our chop here, and then back up. Again, if the person turns away from you, don't worry about where am I gonna hit him. If he's turned away, he's not striking me, right? So meaning, if you ever have a partner and you're hitting them and they're turning away from you, and you're like, I don't know where to hit them. Well, they're not hitting you. So a lot of times the technique's gonna work when the person is towards you. So if Mike's reaching towards me, he's trying to hit me, that's gonna make the technique work better. The more someone tries to hit you, the more targets you have in the technique. You okay? Yeah. All right, so let's go one more time through. So the 2 things I kind of wanted to add to the conversation was, you guys give me your thoughts on the 2 hands versus feeding the hand. That's 1. 2, I'm gonna add in the headbutt coming towards you, making sure, boom, I'm moving out of the angle and checking this hand up. 3, I guess I'll add, make sure that you're dropping your weight. That's one thing about this technique, is you're constantly dropping into the person. So to get power on this, you gotta drop your weight and you gotta rebound. Let's see if I missed anything else. Boom, boom, boom. Really drill this motion. Here's your 1-2 punch, boom. Just motion over and over again. Follow the arm, right arc down. Hit, move your body out of the way, make sure the hands come up, strike down, have a really good party that you can hit nice and hard, otherwise it doesn't make the technique as well. I'm Sensei Matt Federico, that's Mike. Thank you, Brotherhood, for letting me post the video. I appreciate it, guys.